Butcher walked in.
Yeah.
Like, Daddy's home.
Oh yeah, he's like, Daddy's home. Yeah, yeah, that
good.
was a good scene. Alrighty, boys, the finale of The Boys, series finale, finally out. What was initial thoughts on the end of The Boys?
Yeah, it's crazy to think that was the last episode.
Yeah, no, it did not feel like the series was coming to an end.
Yeah, obviously they're doing like other spin-offs like Vault Rising, which they just did drop a trailer for.
I was about to say, I saw the trailer for that today.
Looks good.
Yep,
But,
it did look good.
Yep, final episode of The Boys. The overall though, the episode as an episode, it was one of my favorites this season. I thought it, I think it tied up some storylines pretty well and everything. So overall, I would say with the finale itself, I was thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yep, I thought it was overall pretty solid. I thought the pacing of it was pretty good. It didn't really disappoint me. I don't want to say it like floored me with some of the stuff that happened. Some of the stuff I feel like was pretty straightforward. I kind of expected it to go that way, and we'll kind of get into that as we break down the episode here. But yeah, overall, I thought it was pretty solid.
I think it was pretty good overall, but I think we all wanted to see Homelander go crazy. But we didn't get that, sadly.
Yeah. I feel like they took out Homelander. I don't want to say easily, but I feel like they kind of dispatched of him pretty handily there. I don't think it was like too much of a challenge. Like, I didn't think it was like some crazy epic final battle. Like, I thought we were about to get like a Avengers Assemble moment where they all had to like team up on him and he was just going to go ballistic. But no,
I just didn't like it was all in that one room. Like, I wish it kind of was flying around a little bit and like going to
I thought it was
areas.
going to be an open world fight. Yeah.
I mean, I guess it wouldn't really be because Homelander can just fly away, then they can't catch him.
Right.
So, I mean, I guess it kind of had to be, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, because he kept trying to fly away during the final battle. He kept trying to fly off, and they were stopping him. Like, Ryan intercepted him at the pass there when he was trying to fly off. Which I saw coming. I knew from the beginning of the season that Ryan was going to, at some point in this final battle here, Ryan's going to fly in last minute. He's going to get his little one-on-one moment against Homelander.
Yeah.
But yeah. So just kind of getting into it, kind of like, let's break down kind of what happened in the episode from start to finish here.
Yep. Kind of opened with Frenchie's funeral, where Huey was reading that note or like last will he was reading.
Yeah.
Assholes.
Yeah. And Kamiko, was just kind of remained silent there. And then,
Kamiko's been doing that weird back and forth thing where she can talk at certain points, but then can't talk at certain points. Like she was back to doing just the sign language at the start of this episode.
Yeah, I think it's when she's like really angry or emotional. She doesn't talk, which kind of makes sense, but. Yep, and then it jumped over to Ryan in Russia. He was watching like the TV, and then Homelander.
Homelander just popped up on him, like he just knew where he was.
Yeah, they said like Russians. He saw on TV a flying figure was in Russia, so Homelander knew that was Ryan. Ryan was telling him, said he doesn't. What did he say? Like some doesn't fear him as a god. Then
Ryan was getting his shit off right there.
Right.
He was. Yep, he was like, God, I forget how he worded it to him, but he was like, just deep down, like you're so scared, like nobody will ever love you, type of thing.
Yeah, because he was trying to use fear to make him a god, but Ryan's like, you can't.
Yeah, you got to scare people into thinking you're a god, type of thing. Yeah.
Then it kind of jumped. You had Kamiko getting Soldier Boy's power. Like Sage kind of made her mad and angry to kind of test that.
Yeah, they kind of planted the seed that it worked at the funeral scene. You kind of saw what would usually happen with Soldier Boy when he started to get angry and he was going to do the big chest blast, all the rubble and stuff on the ground started rising up. Yeah.
And it was kind of Sage like testing her pretty much, making her angry. And then Kamiko blasted her and it worked. Sage lost her power.
Turned dumb.
Yeah, and she seemed really excited about it. She was like, "Thank you for getting rid of my powers." She didn't want to be super smart anymore.
Yep, she was like her brain, like her head. She can finally hear.
Like, she said her thoughts have always been so loud. So she finally felt like clear-minded.
And then it kind of jumped over the White House, and Homelander. That's when the Deep walked in, and like it was.
When Homelander set him straight.
Yeah,
when he told him he was just a disappointment, and he's like never had any respect for him ever.
He's like the only reason I let you die because deep down, like to know that you're worthless type thing. Like, damn.
Yeah, and then the Deep still didn't buy it.
Yeah,
he didn't believe that he was telling him the truth, and then he came back around later when he got confronted by Starlight and the group that he was like, oh, so this is just a test from Homelander.
And that kind of begins that kind of the boys' final mission where they want to infiltrate the White House through those tunnels.
Yep, because Homelander was doing like a State of the Union address like the president.
Yeah, declaring himself God and pretty much threatened to kill all non-believers. So
yeah, they brought back the mind readers, kind of testing the whole crowd to see who was a believer and who wasn't.
Yep, playing that speech and everything.
Yeah,
and then that kind of starts that whole White House chaos where you had the boys trigger that silent alarm in the tunnels. And then
Yeah, it was like the soup dog whistle. Yeah.
that like loud whistle. Yep, what makes them like freak out.
Yeah, because they were obviously way ahead of them. They knew that Butcher and the group were going to plan to like infiltrate the White House, and they were going to use the underground tunnels, so they were ready for them.
And then Ashley helped them because she helped him get out of there.
Yeah, I saw that coming. I figured Ashley would have a kind of change of pace at some point, or a change of heart, where she would end up aiding them in some sort of way. So when they were, it was like when the Secret Service was guiding her away, she dipped away from them and was able to sneak down into the tunnels and help them escape that room they were trapped in.
Yeah.
So
you could kind of see her starting to turn on Homelander, like question no father at the beginning of this episode too.
Yeah, kind of like Sage. She was working along with Homelander and Vault that entire time, but then she kind of realized how crazy Homelander was and had a change of heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she was trying to test O-Father to see if he would turn on Homelander.
She was trying to get
talk to Bashley
to read his mind, and then
it just wasn't working with her. Yeah,
which leads us to kind of O-Father dying there. With
that was insane.
With the super ball gag.
Yeah, that ball gag. Yeah, that was nuts.
Yeah, I didn't expect it. Was so quick.
Like that reminded me of Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness when Black Bolt, remember that when Wanda like closed his mouth, and he went to do the scream, kind of like O-Father, and his brain like blew up inside of his head. Yeah, kind of the same sort of thing here. He put that ball gag in his mouth as he was about to do that scream, and just blew his whole, exploded his whole head.
Yeah, and then it showed Huey like getting blood on him again, like he pretty much every time.
Yeah, him and MM.
Yeah.
I didn't see that coming in that moment. I feel like that happened so fast.
Yeah. Because it did show MM kind of saw something like at the window or in the room. And
when they went into the room, he kind of like tilted his head to the side, but it didn't show what he was looking at. And then O-Father was going after Huey, and then you just saw MM come behind him. Yeah.
Right before he was about to scream.
Yeah, that was a good little Uno reverse card.
Yep. And then it had that whole Annie fight in the deep, which you kind of brought up a little bit, but
yeah, I saw people predicting that they thought if the deep was going to die or if he was going to have like a final battle, that Annie should have been the one to get it because that was kind of coming full circle, back all the way back to episode 1 when like flashed himself instead of in front of Annie. Yeah, so that was kind of a full circle moment because him and Annie never saw eye to eye. She's hated him since the beginning.
And when Deep was screaming like no,
yeah, the way the Deep died was crazy. The way she she blasted him into the ocean, and then he just got circled by all the sharks. And then he didn't even get killed by the sharks; he got killed by the octopus. The like tentacles came like out of his eyes and his mouth.
Yeah, it was his mouth. Yep. God. Because they were saying justice for Ambrosius.
That octopus that he killed.
Yeah, like season 3.
Yeah, that he was dating.
Deep is definitely one of my favorite characters in the show, though. Even though he's like dumb and
he's the best
not a good guy.
But he's the best comedic relief in the show for sure.
That kind of went into that final showdown between Butcher, Ryan, Kimiko, and Homelander. Yeah, Ryan ended up showing up later, but kind of started that when Butcher walked in.
Yeah.
Like, Daddy's home.
Oh, yeah. He's like, Daddy's home. That was a good scene. Yeah, God, I'm so happy that Kimiko didn't get the, like, final blow on Homelander type of thing. I was like, please, just because he had killed Frenchie in the second to last episode at the end, I was hoping, like, I didn't want Kimiko to get the kill on Homelander type of thing. And we were debating this whole time on if Homelander would get killed or just get depowered. But obviously both ended up happening. So I like the way they did it. Homelander and Butcher were having a pretty even, like, fair fight, which I didn't think Butcher would be able to hang with him like that. Because Kimiko wasn't really doing much.
Yeah.
Kimiko got tossed around a few times by Homelander and was just standing to the side. And she kept trying to hit him with the blast, and Butcher kept calling for her to do it.
Yeah.
When she went to hit him with the blast, she was hesitant because she couldn't get it to work because she was saying she wasn't feeling the emotions of anger that she needed to. And then we got that scene of Frenchie in the last episode.
She saw like a vision of him.
A vision of Frenchie, yep. And he gave her that little speech, and she was able to get the rage she needed to, or he was able to motivate her to be able to use the power. Like, she didn't need the rage to be able to do it, type of thing.
Yeah, and then he had Butcher and Ryan holding Homelander down. And,
Homelander kept trying to fly off, and they kept cutting him off. Like, Butcher, I think, got him once or twice with like his tentacle. He was able to pull him down, and then Ryan obviously flew in at like a critical moment. He flew in the window and took Homelander down and was able to stop him from flying away. And then it was kind of a tag team, Butcher and Ryan against Homelander. Again, I thought it was going to be a more Avengers Assemble type moment with the entire group fighting Homelander, but so it was Ryan and Butcher like 2-on-1 against Homelander, and then they were both able to like get a hold of his arms and kind of hold him down. And it was almost a shot back to season 3 of when it was Butcher, Huey, and Soldier Boy, and they were fighting him 3-on-1 at like Hero Gasm, and they were getting ready to hit him with the chest blast, and he flew off last second. So it was kind of like that. They were holding him down, and then Kamiko obviously was able to do the blast and hit all 3 of them. So she depowered all 3 of them at the same time.
Yeah, which leads to that Homelander scene of him kind of begging for his life.
Yeah. He woke up, and it was actually pretty good how eerie it was. Like it was
like quiet.
It was super quiet. You could almost like hear a pin drop, and he like the panic in his voice when he was trying to fly off, and he was trying to like laser Butcher, and it just wasn't working.
Yeah.
He was realizing he didn't have the powers, and the look on Butcher's face when he realized like, oh, holy shit, it worked. Like he actually lost his powers. And then beat the absolute shit out of Homelander. Because it was finally like a human versus human one-on-one fair playing field fight.
And Homelander's never not been a soup, so he can't really fight.
He's never fought as a normal human before, so he's never really fought hand to hand like that. So Butcher just had his way completely with Homelander, and then Homelander, it was crazy when he was all like bloody in the face and he was like down on his knees. It almost gave me like Joker like vibes, the way he was kind of like laughing and was like hysterical, and the way he was kind of like begging for mercy. And then I didn't know what the final shot would be to take Homelander out, but that was like one of the most gruesome deaths for sure.
Which Butcher's always had since the
that's
beginning.
like his signature weapon since the start.
The
way he said, "This is for Becca." Stabbed it straight through the
like
center of his forehead.
Then
it was the center of his forehead, and then the way he cranked the crowbar, and you could hear his like skull cracking, and he scraped him across the desk. And the look on Homelander's face too when he got like stabbed through the skull initially, like how wide-eyed he was, like open mouth. That was nuts.
And that was the end of Homelander there.
That was the end of Homelander. And it almost felt like it was leading towards the end of the episode, which I was kind of shocked. Well, I guess not shocked. I thought it was like leading towards the end of the episode, but I figured something else big had to happen because it felt like we were only halfway through. So, like I said, it felt like they got rid of Homelander like pretty quick. Because there was a good half hour left, 25 minutes to half an hour left on the episode, I think.
It kind of did like a quick scene where it's kind of jumping around, showed Ashley like becoming president again. Then it did like a quick cut, and so she was impeached.
She was doing that speech, and then it cut to the news, and she was like in the back of her SUV,
quickly impeached. That was funny. Then it was kind of showing the world reacting to Homelander's death and everything, and then Kamiko was talking again, saying Frenchie was still with him and everything. So, and then that's when Butcher went up to Ryan, and Ryan kind of rejected him.
He offered Ryan. He was like, "You, me, and Terror, we're gonna go
live off the land."
We're gonna go find a quiet place to live and kind of get away from all this. And then
Ryan rejected him.
Ryan declined him.
And then showed Terror dying.
Terror dying. He went in that room to say hi to Terror, and Terror was obviously dead in his doggy bed.
Which kind of led Butcher to steal that virus and kind of
I didn't know what he was planning there when he pulled the tube out with the virus, because Huey went into the room and saw Terror. He had put the blanket over Terror, and Huey had saw that Terror died, and then he saw the tube with the virus, and it was empty. So he knew Butcher was up to something. So he went to the vault tower. He's following him.
He followed him in that van and everything.
Butcher was expecting him to follow him too. He was like, "What happened? You run into traffic on the way here?" Right when it led into that little face-off scene, I was like, "Oh no, please don't tell me they're gonna make Huey kill Butcher," because he pulled that gun on him and he was face to face. I was like, well, he's not just gonna straight up shoot Butcher, is he? But then obviously they fought, which I didn't expect. I didn't just see that coming. I didn't think they would get into a full-on fist fight like that. But Butcher had put the virus into the sprinkler system of the building. So he was gonna turn the fire extinguishing system on
trigger.
He had it synced up to that trigger, and he was gonna turn it on the entire sprinkler system and basically like wipe out everybody in the building, or every soup in the building.
And then he ends up shooting Butcher.
He obviously got the best of Huey in the fight, and then when Huey
was like
grabbed the gun, it was down on the ground. He saw Lenny, so he hesitated to pull the trigger. Butcher did. He hesitated to pull the trigger on the virus. Because he was seeing like flashes of Lenny, his younger brother, on Huey. And then Huey was able to take the shot and take Butcher out.
I thought that was a good scene. Like kind of that last moments there.
I thought that was a good emotional scene for sure. I didn't expect Butcher to die like that, but I knew Homelander wouldn't take Butcher out. I knew that would be kind of anticlimactic if this entire time Homelander was the one kind of getting the best of Butcher. But so I didn't know how they would kill him, type of thing. I didn't know if he would be so damaged in the final battle that he would just kind of die afterwards.
Butcher.
Like if he would bleed out afterwards, type of thing. But no, Huey obviously ended up taking him out. Butcher obviously immediately didn't feel any resentment towards Huey because he was like, I didn't leave you any other choice.
But then it ended up going to the funeral for Butcher where they were standing by his gravestone and everything. That was pretty good. Then he had showed like Kamiko leaving, then MM takes Ryan in.
That was kind of awkward the way Kamiko Nico just walked off the way she was like, bye. And she just like walked off and left. And they were just like, okay. Yep.
I think they just knew that was the end. So
yeah.
it's kind of.
We didn't really get a long epilogue after Butcher's death of kind of like where everybody ended up. I mean, we did in a sense, not for every character. With certain characters, I feel like they kind of cut it off because like Soldier Boy, now we obviously might see something in Vault Rising if it's somehow, I know it's set in like the 1950s or whatever, but if it catches up to current day timeline or at the end of the show, they have like a flash forward to where he's at in the current day. Because the last time we saw him, Butcher or Homelander just put him into the cryo chamber again.
That was the last episode, before.
And we didn't see any of him in the last episode at all. Not a single mention of him. And same thing with Sage. Like when Sage left the house after getting depowered, she kind of did that little smile. She kind of like looked off in the distance on the porch and kind of did that smile and then just walked off. And I was kind of thinking like, I guess that's the end of Sage. Like she's not really going to get an epilogue at the end where they show where she's at now. She just kind of left.
And then she was going to Orlando. Harry Potter.
Oh yeah, she did say that. She did say I'm gonna go spend my. But that was before they went off to fight Homelander because she thought they were gonna fail. She was like, Homelander's gonna come find me and kill me, so I'm just gonna go spend my final moments at Harry Potter World at Universal. Yeah.
Then that goes into that epilogue we were talking about. Him and Ryan had the wedding.
It was funny too. Like 10 seconds before the wedding scene, I had said, "God, what happened to MM's family? What happened to his wife and daughter that we followed through like the first 3 seasons? Because they didn't mention much of them. I don't think in season 4 or at all in season 5 until the very end right there. So he was getting remarried to Janine. Isn't that his wife's name? Yep. He was getting remarried to Janine, and then they obviously had taken Ryan in like his own son, so he's obviously gonna help raise Ryan.
And it showed Kimiko. It moves to Marseille, or I think I don't know how to pronounce it, but in France.
Yeah, she moved to France. Yeah,
adopts that dog and.
Yep, that was good to see because she was kind of hinting at that with Frenchie that they were gonna move to Paris or move to France in general, and she wanted to get a dog, so they were basically just gonna leave the U.S. and go overseas type of thing. So
Then it showed on TV that Stan Edgar returning as CEO to run Vought pretty much.
Yeah.
Just kind of that's
he just stepped right back in as the CEO.
And then in that Bob Singer, he became president. It showed him calling Huey, offering that role to run that super fairs branch, which Huey ended up declining.
Yep, because Huey ended up declining because he said he had his own business that he was starting up, and so he obviously went back into the audio visual space. He started like an AV shop, tech store, which kind of comes full circle because at the very beginning he worked at Radio Shack, I think, right?
Yeah, it was like a tech store like that. Yeah.
It was funny too because right where he was standing, wasn't that where the show started with him and Robin, where he was holding Robin's hand and A Train ran through Robin and killed her at the very start?
Because it showed Annie pregnant, inside. When one of her last shots, it looked like that same sidewalk that they were staying at in season 1. So
obviously they're gonna name the baby Robin. Yep, he was like, "Take care of your mom, Robin." And then Starlight still has her powers. She went flying off. Yep, and it sounded like she was responding to to some kind of crime scene because he had like a police scanner or like a radio, and they were hearing police reports and stuff. And then she obviously went flying off to help.
And that was the last scene.
Yeah, that was pretty much it. That was the last scene. So I think that was like a pretty decent wrap up to everything. What do you guys kind of rate the episode overall?
I'd say like an 8 out of 10.
Yeah,
I feel like there's some loose ends that we still need to be tied up.
Yeah,
but like you said, we might find that out in this upcoming show.
Yeah, with like Soldier Boy. Yeah, if I know it's set in the past, it's a prequel, but it's like I wonder if they'll jump forward in time at the end of it, kind of like a Better Call Saul, where it kind of got into the future towards the end of the show.
Yeah.
And kind of shows what happened to Soldier Boy, because I don't want to just assume that he just gets left in that cryo chamber forever and they just never do anything with him type of thing, especially with Stan Edgar running the show again now. You would think he would know that Soldier Boy's in the building in that cryo chamber, and he would be able to use him for something.
Yeah, he's going to wake up and not even know Homelander's dead, so that's going to be interesting.
Then Yip kind of says a big takeaway. I would definitely say Homelander is a top 5 character in any show for me. Not even villain, just top 5 character in general. He did so well in that role.
Yeah, he was definitely born for that role. He's like one of those guys, like a Robert Downey Jr. born to play Iron Man, Ryan Reynolds born to play Deadpool type of thing. So yeah, he definitely killed it in the role. The best actor and character in the entire show for me. He's easily a top 5 villain all time in movies and TV shows for me. So yeah, he's up there for sure.
I'm hoping he too gets more bigger roles, because I feel like I haven't seen him in anything else, else big really. But
yeah, I don't think I've seen Anthony Starr in anything else really. Yeah, so just kind of rating the episode for me, like I would probably give it like a 7.5 out of 10. I don't think it's like the best episode of The Boys or anything by any means. I thought it was a pretty decently paced, solid wrap up to everything to a certain extent. Like there were some other choices I wish they would have made with the way certain characters ended. Like I wish they would have given more info on Soldier Boy, or like, even though I'm not a huge Sage fan, I kind of wish they didn't give just a brief ending with Sage of her just like walking off and just, I kind of wish they would have had a slightly better epilogue. Like I said, it felt like it wasn't coming to a conclusion. And so, yeah, like, I feel like it's kind of open-ended because their whole plan of wiping out all the soups with the virus, that was a pretty dark way to do it. But yeah, they're just, Stan Edgar's back in charge of Vault. Vault is still at large. Like, it's still going to be a huge company. Soldier Boy's still in the cryo chamber. Like, there's still a ton of soups alive. So are we just supposed to assume that, everything's just fine and dandy after that? I'm not too sure.
I would give the episode the rating of like 8. I thought it was a pretty good wrap up like to the series. I know I didn't really, I mean, Soldier Boy's a major character, but it didn't bother me that much that he wasn't, or they didn't really wrap him up, because I felt like everyone else, like any major character, they kind of wrapped up pretty well, I would say. So I didn't feel like too disappointed by it or anything. For the finale of the series, I would say I enjoyed it.
Where would you rank season 5 amongst the rest of the seasons?
It would be probably like, I don't know, I think season 4 for me is probably still the worst season. And then season 5 is just
I'd probably
above
have
that.
it second to the bottom. Yep, I think I have seasons 1, 2, and 3 all over 4 and 5.
For
Yeah,
sure.
I'd say 4 was the worst, and then 5 was second to the bottom.
Yeah, I'd probably have season 3 at the top, and then probably 1 or 2, probably 1, and then season 2 as like the middle. But still, I thought seasons 1 through 3 were fire.
Yep, seasons 1 through 3 were definitely gas. Yeah, that's definitely what pulled me in. I didn't have any disappointment really whatsoever with the show until season 4. Really, the only episode I loved in season 4 was that Homelander episode where he went back to the lab and when he was going up the elevator at the end, all covered in blood.
I agree with you guys with your takes on like season 3 and then like 1 or 2, and then
4 and 5
4,
towards,
4 and 5
toward the bottom.
and then Stan Edgar, kind of the GOAT, he did predict when he was in that bunker that he was just going to return back to Vault and take over the company.
Oh, yeah.
Point that out.
Yep.
He's the GOAT.
Yeah, he did call that. Yeah. Yeah, he was able to avoid death a couple times and he was never like shaken or rattled. So yeah, he was definitely stone cold throughout the whole thing. Yep, and he just was able to retake his spot as the CEO. So overall, I think it was a pretty decent wrap up to everything. You guys got any other final thoughts?
Nope. Like overall though, just still one of my favorite shows. Like this show in general.
It's definitely up there. Yeah, it definitely didn't disappoint me the way like a Stranger Things did.
Yeah, or Game of Thrones.
Like the way those shows kind of crashed and burned. Yeah, it definitely didn't crash and burn to me in any way.
Yeah.
It wasn't as great as I thought it was going to be or as grand as I wanted it to be, but yeah, as I hoped it would be. But yeah, it was solid. Yep, I don't mind it. All right, well, I think that is pretty much it. That is our final thoughts of The Boys season 5 and just the series finale in general. Let us know what you guys thought down in the comment section below. If you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like. We appreciate you staying to the end. Thanks so much for watching. Peace.